Time for the weekly Logansport Board of Works and Safety meeting. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call, please.
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Chris Armstrong.
Here.
Ron Miller.
Present.
Approval of minutes from the November 6, 2013 meeting.
I've read the minutes of November 6th. I make a motion we approve as presented the minutes from the November 6, 2013 meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
None.
Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. There are no licenses for consideration today. Are there any visitor comments?
Clean.
There are no visitor comments. Under approval of claims, an amount of $47,449.14.
I'll make a motion we approve the claims as presented the amount of $47,449.14.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
None.
Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes on a vote of 3-0. Under old business, we have Code Enforcement Officer regarding 1320 Liberty Street, Mickey Smith. Is there anybody here representing Mickey?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay.
Chris has in front of her the most recent pictures of that property that I took yesterday afternoon. There's been very little change in them. I'll give you a second to look over the pictures.
George, are these the pictures with the ladder and the bicycles on the side of the house?
Yes.
And the blue tarp in the back?
Yes, they should have the date across the top, the date and the time stamp of when I took them yesterday.
Thank you.
For the record, Assistant Chief Mike Morfitt did make an attempt to make personal delivery to Mickey Smith at the residence. However, he would not answer the door. I would like to note that while his correct address is 1320 Liberty Street, he did recently change the numerics on the front of his house from 1320 to 1220 Liberty Street. I'm not sure what he was hoping to accomplish by that, but his correct address, according to GPS, and all our past correspondences do show the address as 1320, and that's what it's always been in the past.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the house. It's definitely 1320.
Mm-hmm. You can see the, going through the pictures, I won't go through all of them. Most of them are self-explanatory. I would like to point out that the pile of broken cement that had been in his backyard for for a number of weeks now, it appears that all he's done with that is just broke it up in fairly large chunks and spread it out at the alley as if trying to make an attempt at forming a driveway. That's not acceptable as far as appearance or as far as the quality of it.
I couldn't hear everything you said, I'm sorry. You did say that you sent him snail mail and you went to deliver personally, but he wouldn't open the door, is that right?
Correct. Assistant Chief Mike Morfitt made a personal delivery to the residence, and he did leave it in the door, and we do have pictures of the letter left in the door at that residence.
And that ordered him to be here today?
Yes.
Okay.
That was hand-delivered. A copy was snail mail delivered to him, and there was a certified copy sent to him, but as normal in all the other correspondences we've had with him, he refused to sign them, and it came back, and Deb in our office had actually signed for it.
I asked the city attorney, have we met the statutory requirement notification?
We've met the statutory requirement for notification. How many days' notice did he have?
Oh, good gosh.
He needs to be here for this meeting.
For this meeting, he had a 7-day notice, which is what you'd said last week that we needed to give to him. The initial letter, the very first letter went out to him on October the 4th. There was another correspondence on October 17th, and then the last correspondence was November the 6th.
Mr. Mayor, I think it's within your discretion. You can order a cleanup now. You can have us send another letter and tell him to contact the city by such and such a date, 2 weeks away. And if he doesn't do that, a cleanup will happen. Then those are two choices that you have. I think either one would be okay.
When was the first notice on this
October.
late? I know we've had this particular residence before, as in last year, but regarding this year, this latest notice, when was the first notice sent out?
The very first correspondence I had with him was on October the 4th. I let the door hanger lay on his door. I had personal contact with him where I physically talked to him face to face on October the 4th. That was the door hanger. The initial letter went out by snail mail to him, dated October the 4th. The certified letter went out for notice to appear on October the 17th, and hand delivery and snail mail were both taken to him or mailed to him on November the 6th.
I make the motion we order the property cleanup at 1320 Liberty Street. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there anybody here representing Mickey Smith or the property at 1320 Liberty? All right, hearing none. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
None.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0.
Okay, I believe there is a representative here for 319 19th Street, if he would like to come forward.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you would state your name, your address, and what relationship you have to the property.
Richard Baker, 319 19th Street. My wife is buying the property, so I live there.
Okay, this is a property that the legal owner is listed as Don McMahon. Prior to that, it had been listed as belonging to Teresa Burbridge. I believe Teresa and Don at one time were married, but have recently gotten divorced. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. The initial letter went out to this property owner back on September the 4th. Was the yellow sticker left on the door. September the 5th was a snail mail letter. September the 17th was a certified letter sent to them, and then October the 9th was another letter sent, and then last Thursday there was hand delivered a letter that was left in the door to the property owner. I talked with Mr. Baker very briefly just right before the meeting started, and he has asked for additional time. Mr. Baker, what do you do? What's your intentions? You understand that cleaning up the property isn't by ordinance, isn't just erecting a portable tent and placing the items inside the tent.
Well, I didn't quite understand. You said they had to be stored inside, and I couldn't get everything in my garage at that time, so I put up a canopy and just wanted it inside and out of sight. And I mean, I spent a lot of time cleaning the property up. I mean, all around. I'm trying to work with you guys and help you out, and I understand, the position. So really, I just need a brief amount of more time, and I'll have it completely cleaned up and canopy.
How much more
taken.
time do you need?
I mean, a week would be
1 week?
great. Pardon?
1 week?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at, right, that would be November 20th. Is this the property that had the temporary garage constructed, erected with the tarp? Okay. Uh-huh.
sides around it.
Right. And if I remember right, there was quite a bit of firewood there as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has since stacked the firewood
Okay.
into rows.
Okay. We had ordered the property cleanup on that, I think maybe the last week in October, and then we want to work with you, and we want to be
Right.
as fair as we can with you.
I understand that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You're telling me a week. I'm inclined to tell you 2 weeks.
Oh, that'd be
And if it's not cleaned up in 2 weeks, there's really no reason to come back. If it's not 100% finished,
Absolutely.
we'll just order the property cleanup. I mean, this is really your last best chance to get it done yourself. We would prefer that you do that. We don't like
Oh,
to go
yeah,
out
I don't
and
want
do
anybody
these.
on my property anyway.
Yeah.
That won't go over real good at all, but I will make sure it's done to you guys' satisfaction.
Okay, I would ask for, I think first of all, I would make the motion that we grant a 2-week extension for the once and final property cleanup, and that's at 319 19th Street.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. We'll ask, it's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Now, we will rely on the code enforcement officer to report back to us on Wednesday, the 27th. You're certainly welcome to attend.
Okay.
If it's not cleaned up in its entirety, there'll be no further discussion. We just take action on it and go order the property cleanup that day.
Fair enough.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
What time is that
It'd be 9 o'clock.
on 9 a.m.? Okay, thank you. You guys have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, it very well probably be done today.
All right. Okay, I just turned around and saw we do have a representative here from 1721 East Market Street, Carol Cash. Carol, would you come on up here, please? Is your daughter here by chance?
No, she's in Missouri.
Okay.
How you doing?
Hi, Ted.
You've got current pictures in front of you.
It doesn't look like that now.
You what?
It doesn't look like that now.
These were just taken less than a half an hour ago.
Really?
Yeah. They were taken at 8:42.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I thought you had.
This has
the-
been going on. Carol and I have had a couple phone conversations, and we've probably, Carol, a couple months now.
Yeah, we've been working on, I was working on cleaning out the house next door. And I've got 2 storage units that we kind of hurriedly put stuff in, and I need to rearrange them to get this stuff into it. Basically, it's 30 years of living in a house that my husband and I lived in, just trying to get it cleaned up. It was very trying. But now my grandson and I are working on getting the storage units that we just kind of threw stuff into. We have to pull stuff out, restack it, so we can put this stuff in, and some of this stuff will be going into the house as soon as my daughter, she'll be home in 2 weeks to take some of her stuff back to Missouri with her. The weekend before and the weekend after Thanksgiving, she's going to be taking stuff out of her house, so I'll have room to put stuff in the house. So if I could have a month, I could have that all cleaned up.
You need 1 month?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty inclined to go along with that. I appreciate you being here and working with us. Today is November 13th. If we allowed you until December 11th, that would be a full 28 days. You think that gives you enough time?
I think it would.
Okay. Is there any discussion among the board? I know it's tough to go from 2 houses down to 1 and all that
Especially a
space.
10-room to a
Yeah.
5-room.
And I know your history there with having a fire and some other things
Yeah.
going on. certainly want to work with you as much as we possibly can. If you're telling us a month, I'm happy to make that into a motion that we grant another extension and allow until December 11th to have it cleaned up on the outside.
Okay.
All right. Thank
All
you
right,
so
thank you
much.
very much.
All right. That's in the form of a motion, and it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? It passes on a vote of 3-0. So we'll put that one back on the agenda for December 11th. Okay, under new business, curb cut request by NIPSCO, 1437 Treen Street.
Ted,
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I gave those to Dan, and I didn't know if he had had time to look at them yet.
Yes, sir, I visited both addresses and I gave it my okay.
Okay. And let's see, 617 North Sycamore.
You need a motion on
Yeah, I was just looking, yes, if you'd care to.
that? I'd make a motion we approve the curb cuts at 417 Green and 617 North Sycamore as presented.
I'll second the motion. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Bid opening for Highway Department specs. Still under new business. I'm going to pass all of this back to the city attorney, who will open it.
Do we have the RFP here, or the specs that are, the bids that need to meet?
I have those in my office.
I will tell you what I'll do, I'll open the bids and announce each bid, but without having the specs, I can't tell whether the bids are responsive or which bid is the most responsive.
Right.
But we can tell what the bids are, okay. Sealed bid for November 6, 2013, Merrill Lautman and Associates. Kind of like the Emmys, right? Takes way too long. Concrete work item 6, total amount $225,000. Item 6A, total amount 4-inch $30,000 for 6-inch $35,000. Total amount item 6B, $20,000. And a copy of the bid bond. Solid finish construction. Item 6, $267,500. Item 6A, 4-inch, $31,250. 6 inches, amount $40,450. Item 6B, amount $20,000. Man Concrete Incorporated.
appears the bid is for $200,000. That's not broken down into the items. Central paving. Item 1, $5.90 per gallon. Item 2, $95.89. Item 3, base, $72 and $65.25. Binder, $75.50 and $67.25. Type B surface, $78.75 and $72.75. Type D surface, no bid. There also are bids for items 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D. Engineering aggregates. Bid on item 7, 5,000 tons or less of limestone and gravel. Depending on the item ordered, bid is from $7.95 per ton to $10.25 per ton. And the bid for wash sand is $6.25 per ton, $6.25 per ton. All right, Mr. Mayor, I can report that all of the envelopes were properly sealed and open for the first time in this meeting.
Right. I went up there and sat beside the city attorney for purposes of making sure that the bids were placed back into the proper envelope and that there was no confusion. One was put away before the other one was opened. So it's a lot of information to take in. I think it's usual and customary to take this under advisement. We have to have time to study it, also to make sure that the bid specs were met. So I make the motion that we take this under advisement for until a time in the future. I'm not sure that 1 week would be enough, but we'll take it under advisement until further notice.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. It passes on a vote of 3-0. Okay. Under reports, Building Commissioner.
Good morning, everyone. I supplied my weekly report for your review. If you have any questions, I certainly try to answer those questions. I have nothing to add to my report for this week at all.
make the motion that we approve the report from the building commissioner as presented.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Code enforcement officer.
There's nobody noticed to appear today. You have my report for your review and approval.
I'd make the motion we approve the code enforcement officer's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you, George. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Superintendent of Public Works.
Good morning. I respectfully submit my report for the Public Works Department for the city of Logansport. If you have time, I would appreciate if you go through that, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them and hopefully get your approval.
Dan, are we still accepting electronics, TVs, that kind of stuff?
Off the record, no.
Okay, on the record.
You have the attorney here. If something is dumped in the street and it's very unsightly, we do go out and pick it up, and that's about the best way I can.
And you just have a staging area until
Yes, sir.
we get that ironed out. I've had somebody ask me that question, and I
And we
thought
get
that our
calls
program
every
was.
day, and if it's, to be truthful with you, off the record, it's some poor lady which has happened a couple of times, somebody dumps it right in front of her house, she has no way of we do go out and pick it up.
Any questions for Superintendent of Public Works?
Dump that stuff in front of Carol Sue's house, Dan.
I said poor old lady, I know.
Motion to approve the superintendent of public works report.
I'll second that. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Thank you.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Thanks, Dan. Police Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've submitted my monthly report for the police department. I would entertain any questions you might have.
Is there a hiring process still going on?
There is. We have completed the physical agility in the written portion, and we're down to from 30 down to 8, and we are now doing the full application where they have to have their transcripts and everything in order, and then we'll proceed from there with the backgrounds.
And how many spots do you have?
2.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'll hold that thought. I make the motion that we approve the chief's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Are there any board member comments? Is there any miscellaneous business, including ADA Section 504 compliance and concerns, and any other matters not already considered? Hearing none, we'd entertain a motion to adjourn.